guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, kicking it back old school with the webcam. I'm actually recording this from photo booth because for some reason my webcam system stopped working. I don't know why. But so I am doing a new series called series called Motivational Mondays. And this is just where I give you guys a little bit of advice, insight, that kind of thing. And today I'm going to do a anxiety video. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background, my experience, and maybe it'll help you guys just not feel so alone. I really wish I was looking into the camera. See, I don't like this. I don't like this photo booth. I don't like it. Okay, so I know I've touched upon this in other videos, about me videos, ask me anything videos, but I haven't done one recently, so I thought I would do one today. Okay, so my anxiety issues started back when I was about, I would say 19 years old. And they started from choices I made in boyfriends or boyfriend. My boyfriend in high school was an alcoholic. He was, so basically my whole high school, I started dating him at 16 through 18, 15 through 18, something to that, basically freshman year through senior year to graduation, and then we broke up. We did date on and off for about 20 years after that. Thought he was the love of my life. He was not. But so it basically had to do with choices that I made. And I think a lot of anxiety issues do stem from choices you yourself make. Only you can break the cycle. Point number one. But yeah, so it was a very rough relationship. He never stayed faithful to me, no matter how faithful. I mean, I was totally faithful to him. He was the love of my life. I was his first. He was my first. Thought it was going to last forever, which of course, in high school you always do because you're a dumb kid. Not to say that high school sweethearts don't get married and it lasts forever. That's amazing. I find that like, woo, like I think that's super cool. But so he was an alcoholic and a drug addict. Basically, it was more of an alcoholic in high school. He became a drug addict afterwards. But so I spent basically my whole high school career or high school time in high school taking care of him, being his mother. And that put a lot of stress on me. It was a lot of waiting around, a lot of, we were supposed to go out and I'd have my friends over and we'd be waiting and nobody would show up kind of thing. And then it was, okay, where is he? What's he doing? Who's he with? And when we did go to like parties together, I could never enjoy myself because I always had to take care of him and make sure that he got home safe because he was always out of control. Always known as a huge partier. So, after we broke up, it broke my heart. It really did. It really broke my heart. I mean, the whole relationship kind of broke my heart, but when you're in a relationship in high school, you tend to just, and a lot of times in any situation, not just high school, you tend to overlook the bad stuff and just kind of concentrate on the good stuff or what you think is the good stuff. And so, that's what I basically spent my whole high school doing, is just doing that and really thinking that we were meant to be, we were two peas in a pod, everybody knew us. Behind the scenes, everybody knew him. Putting that nicely, in every way, shape, and form, meaning females. But, So after we broke up, I was pretty devastated. I ended up breaking up with him. I think it was like on my 18th birthday. No, he came to my 18th birthday party, but I think right after that. And I was devastated because this is the person that I was really codependent on for so long. I fulfilled this role, this nurturing role, this motherly role, this taking care of role, and it really was my identity. It's kind of sad to put your identity on somebody else, but it really was. It was my identity. And so when that stopped, it was like, what do I do now? Who am I without this person? So around the age of 18, 19, I would say about 19, I didn't date right after that, and I really struggled. And even after I started dating, whenever he would come around, it didn't matter. I could be in a full-fledged relationship and I would like living with somebody. I mean, I remember this specifically, not that this person was a good person that I was living with, because I made a lot of bad men choices in my life, guys. So, for you younger people out there, please be careful. I mean, it's always good at the beginning. The honeymoon period is always good. But when things just when things start not adding up, when things are going bad, don't overlook it. Go with your gut. I always say that. Just don't, because 9.5 out of 10 you're correct. So it got to the point where it was affecting my other relationships, to the point of where, yes, like I would be living with somebody else and he would call me, because that's what he did for 20 odd years, 20 plus years, when he needed something, and I was his rescuer. And that went on for a really long time, guys. It may sound crazy, but it really did. And as soon as he said he needed me or whatever, I mean, I would leave. I would leave the house. Whoever I was living with, it didn't matter. I gotta go, take off, leave, rescue, that kind of thing. And it caused a lot of anxiety. It caused a lot of inner turmoil. The relationship, even though it ended, it never really ended. So my anxiety started, like I said, around 19, and it got really bad at the age of, I would say, well, I went to my first program, like anti-anxiety program. It was an outpatient program at the age of 19. And what's funny is that I still go to the same, not the same program. I'm not in the program anymore. I have done that outpatient program at least 6 times. I'm a pro at it. So now when they ask me, if I'm not doing well and they ask me, do you want to, go to the outpatient program? I'm like, you know what? I know that like the back of my hand. There's some things I just need to do for myself and really, kind of just get my shit together, But anxiety is a really difficult issue. I have been diagnosed with so many things. Those of you who know or may not know, I am on disability. For bipolar, and I've been diagnosed with so many other diagnoses. It's kind of ridiculous. At this point in my life, I feel like I have panic disorder. That's what I feel like I have. With maybe some agoraphobia thrown in. And for those of you who don't know what agoraphobia is, it's kind of fear of, if you look it up, I think it's fear of the outside. I don't fear the outside. It's more of fear of kind of leaving the house, which is really crazy. Like, I can sit here and have chores to do or have errands to run, but it's kind of snowballed. Like, the more that you sit in your anxiety and you let it control you, the more, the worse it gets. Because the more you feed into it, and I know it sounds so easy, and it's not. I'm 45 years old, guys, and I've been dealing with this since I was a teenager, so I know it's not easy. So please do not take anything I say and think I'm saying, suck it up, you guys. It's easy. It's not easy. I still deal with it. So I get it. But what I did find happening is that when I was not comfortable, if there was something that was not comfortable for me, I would avoid it. And then that would turn into something else. I would find something else I wasn't, anything that gave me an uncomfortable feeling or brought on anxiety, I would avoid it. And it got to the point where I was unable to leave my house without somebody with me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do any of that stuff. Now I'm at the point where I kind of force myself to do it. And you know what you have to do when you do those kind of things is pat yourself on the back. Seriously, seriously, pat yourself on the back. When you accomplish even the littlest things, what I did, I had a lot of negative thoughts, negative self-talk, and I felt stupid because I was like, this is so dumb. Get in your car and go down the street. Like, people do it every day. What is your problem? Just do it. And it's not that easy. You know what I mean? It's a mental thing. It's a chemical thing. It is a legitimate illness. So it's not that easy. But I would beat myself up over it, which of course does not help. So beating yourself up over it does not help. Get professional help. And if you are getting professional help, and this, I have been through so many therapists, so many psychiatrists, so much medication. If it's not working for you, try something else. Just never give up. There's so many options out there. It's crazy. And if it's not working for you, you know your body, you know your limits, you know stuff like that, but you really have to try to push your limits. What I started doing, and you know, for you feather YouTubers, sorry guys, fellow YouTubers out there, what I started doing is vlogging in my car. And even if I never uploaded those videos, it really helped me get from point A to point B when I had nobody with me and I had to go somewhere. Even right down the street, my post office, when I was mailing a lot of stuff when I was in the wax community, excuse me, and I was mailing a lot of stuff, my post office is like right around the corner. I mean, I would guess it's 5 minutes away, if even. And I would have such anxiety, and I would just vlog. I would turn on my phone, vlog from there to the post office. And just that, talking to the camera, talking to you guys, I don't know if any of those videos are still up. I didn't take them down, but you might be able to find them if you go from oldest to newest videos on mine or whatever, on my channel or whatever. You might be able to find some of those. And it was just me being real and me just kind of talking and letting you guys know, hey, I'm going someplace, I'm not comfortable, I need you guys with me, that kind of thing. And that really helped. I'm still at a point where I can drive. It depends on the day too. And you, those of you who have anxiety disorder, panic disorder, PTSD, any of this stuff will understand what I'm saying when it depends on the day. There's days that I get up and I'm like, yeah, I want to go to Kohl's or I want to go to whatever, you know what I mean? And I kind of am limited to, of course, there's going to be blowing outside. They're doing leaves, and every time I try to record, so I'm just going to talk over them. I apologize. It's so aggravating. Once I think they're gone, I turn the camera on, and then they come back. But, so I'm really limited to where he's right outside my door. I'm sorry. I'm really limited to where I can go the distance, the radius kind of thing where I'm comfortable. If I have to do something for my children, it's a little different. If I have to do something for myself, I can put that off from now until the cows come home and make excuse after excuse. But if I have to do something for my children, that's different. I mean, if I get a phone call from the school that I have to pick somebody up, that's totally different. Do I still get anxiety? Of course I do. But do I do it? Yes, I do. It's doing it for myself that's the hardest. So around the age of 22-ish, I would say. I'm not good with ages and timelines and stuff like that. But I developed an eating disorder, and which was brought on, and self-harm behaviors. And it was brought on by all this anxiety. Like, if you go through something like this for years and years and years and years with no relief, you tend to try to find ways to find that relief, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, whether you do drugs, which I never did, but whether you do drugs, whether you drink alcohol, which I did to excess. I was never a person who, I haven't touched alcohol in like 10 years, if not more. But I was the kind of person where I never drank to just have a beer or whatever. You know, it was, Chris is going to drink till she blacks out. And a lot of that was to boost my self-confidence, to feel better in my own skin, that kind of thing. I worked at a bar. I was really popular in many ways, more self-destructive behaviors. I was a size 0. I mean, I was, and I just continued to pick bad men, because I myself inside did not feel worthy. And that's the thing, is you really need to get to a point where you feel worthy, where you feel you deserve more. And I really feel the only way to do that is to get professional help. I really do. I know some people don't believe in therapy, and that's fine. That's your thing. That's fine. I think it's something, self-esteem is such a huge issue, and it's so hard to deal with, that I think that when you have low self-esteem and you have these issues and you have anxiety and you have panic disorder and all this other stuff, it's kind of like, again, it's that vicious circle. It boots down your brings down your self-esteem, then in turn you feel more depressed, then in turn your self-esteem is worse, and then in turn you're more depressed, and you're more anxious, and you're more this, and you're more that. So I really think you need to get to a place where you feel okay about yourself. Whether that means, even if it's, start with simple things. Well, none of it is really simple, because when you need change for people like you and I, it's hard. So anytime you need to change something, it's difficult. So we don't do change well. So it's not easy, but start with something small. What I like to do is pamper myself every once in a while. Get myself a haircut, get myself a new hair color, get my nails done, get my eyebrows done, that kind of stuff. And I know that seems all external, and I mean, I come on camera no makeup, guys. I mean, you guys know me by now. Forehead wrinkles and all, Botox needed, whatever. I mean, I am who I am. But, so I wouldn't say have no self-esteem, because I wouldn't get on camera if I, like this. I would have to be made up every single time I get on camera, which I don't need to be. But there was a time I never left the house without makeup. In my 20s, never left the house without makeup. Did I think I looked okay without makeup? Sure, but I was trying to impress others. And that's a big problem too, is like it needs to all come from inside. So around the age of 22, I was doing a lot of self-destructive behaviors. I went into very intensive day program classes, and these classes lasted all day. They would give you medication, they would monitor your medication, you would see the psychiatrist. Excuse me. You would go all day, you would do like meditation, you would do group therapy, you would meet with your counselor one-on-one. And these group therapy sessions, guys, pretty intense. Pretty intense. When you get into a group of people, if you have social anxiety to begin with, and you get into a group of people that you don't know, it's both good and bad. I'm not really, I shouldn't say it. At the time I didn't share. I was not a sharer, or what they were saying, what they were trying to teach me, I was like, that's bullshit, you know, because I didn't want to change. I didn't want to. Cutting myself, doing these self-destructive behaviors, like, I just felt like I wasn't hurting anybody but myself. So what you're telling me is, you know, basically crap. Like, I'm saying to myself, you know, I'm not hurting anybody but myself, so what do you care? Like, what is it your business? That kind of stuff. Because I didn't want to change at that point. Like I said, class after class after class after class, group after group after group after group, and it finally hit me. I had a really devastating experience with my daughter where I did self-harm in front of her, and that was the day I put down the razor blade and said, never again. I promised her, never again. It was horrible. I'm not going to go into details about it, but I almost lost my relationship with my daughter. And on top of that, I didn't notice it because I was so caught up in myself, but she was starting to self-harm. I think she was kind of doing it more for attention, but was I being a good influence? Of course I wasn't. She probably wouldn't even have known what it was if I was not doing it. So, you know, she just saw scars on my arms or body parts and was like, oh, okay, I'll give this a shot. Mom's doing it. Like, I was not being a good influence, obviously. Not something I'm proud of. So anyway, so what I did was, this big tragic thing happened where, you know, I did self-harm in front of her and almost lost my relationship with her, and I stopped. I promised her that day, never again, have never gone back, will never go back. But this has been a lifelong struggle, guys, and it kind of seems with mental illness, the thing with mental illness is whether it's anxiety disorder, PTSD, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, oh my God, there's so many other disorders I could list because people have like diagnosed me with almost all of them. It's kind of crazy. It's never ending. It's never ending. You have different chemicals in your brain than I don't want to say the normal person, but your brain is just wired differently. And so it doesn't work the same way as everybody else's does. Your thinking patterns sometimes don't work the same way. How you deal with things don't work the same way. But you need to stay true to yourself, and you need to really look at not only how are you hurting yourself, but how are you hurting others? Because you can be kind of selfish. It can be kind of a selfish cycle where you think, I'm not hurting anybody else, and you really are. You're either not there for your children, you're not there for your spouse, you're not there for your partner, you're not there for your friends, and so you are hurting other people, and you really need to, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for those people. Ultimately, you want to be able to do it for yourself, but if at the beginning, the fake it till you make it kind of, you know, beginning, do it for other people. And that's kind of what I do now is, like, if I'm feeling really down or I'm feeling really, you know, whatever, I mean, there's a lot of times I'm on the couch and I say to Marin, don't talk to me. Not literally don't talk to me, but beware if you talk to me. Not a good day. There's days he absolutely leaves me alone. There's days where he says, hey babes, what do you think about this? Let's go do this. There's days I don't want to do it, but you know what? I know he's trying, so I put my clothes on and I do it. Sometimes do I feel better? Absolutely. Sometimes I come back and I'm totally out of my funk and I feel better. Other times it doesn't work at all. But and there's other days where I'm like, no, just leave me alone. Like, I just need to be left alone. So if you guys, like, if any of this resonates with you, just know you're not alone. Whether, and the biggest thing is, it doesn't matter where this came from. That's the biggest thing that I learned, is because I really tried to figure out, I sat in a group of people for months and months and months in these groups and listened to some really horrific stories. I was raised in a middle class household, mother and father together, still together. They're going on 50 years married. A brother, no, like, abuse, no, nothing. I basically got, I don't want to say I got everything I wanted, but because I didn't really want for much. I never grew up wanting for much. With my parents, it was sort of, I was raised, you appreciate what you get. You know what I mean? Take it or leave it. And I always did. I always appreciated what I had, like, but I certainly didn't go without. You know what I mean? I wasn't starving. I didn't have parents that weren't there. I didn't have parents, absentee parents. I didn't have parents that were abusive in any way. I still have. They're both here. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. And I have amazing parents. I love my parents. And so I sat in these groups of these people who, like, didn't have parents or had parents that were horrible to them, and I'm listening to these horror stories and I'm going, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? What is wrong with me? Like, oh my God, I had an amazing life and I felt like such a fraud. Like, I'm like, these people have legit problems. You know what I mean? Like, they were sexually abused, or they were this, or they were that, or what is my issue? And I talked to my counselor about it, and she said, it's not necessarily, she said, you had your own set of issues. Whether a lot of people, they didn't choose those issues. Those issues were put upon them. She's like, you chose your issues, a lot of the times. And I did, but there's still issues and they still affected you. So it doesn't really matter where it came from. So if you have this is just my opinion. I am not a psychotherapist. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a, therapist of any kind. But I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why I am this way I am. Useless. That's useless. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. What matters is what you do about it. What do you do from here on out? How do you make the change? How do you change yourself? And you do that in little steps. Like I said, there's days, and like I said, I'm going to be bluntly honest with you guys. There's times where I can go a week without showering. As gross as that is, I can go a week without showering. Do I freshen up? Of course I do. But I just don't give a shit. Like, I just don't care. That's how depressed and anxiety-ridden and panicky I am. When you're in a full-fledged panic attack for a week straight, and like I said, my panic attacks will go on all day. Like, I may have a 20-minute break here and there, but all day, pacing the floors, can't breathe. Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. There's only so much your body can handle. So showering is the last thing on my mind. But you know what? Like, push yourself. Get in the shower. If you don't want to get in the shower, take a bath. Do your legs need to be shaved? Shave your legs. Even if you don't get in the shower or the bath, shave your legs. Do your teeth need to be brushed? Brush your teeth. It sounds so, and like I said, to people who are watching this who have not experienced this, it's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound insane. Because you're like, don't you brush your teeth every day? Yes, but it's sometimes it's a chore. It's hard when you honestly do not care and you are so caught up in your own head and there's so many thoughts swarming around there and you just can't grasp and get a handle on it. Sometimes the basic things are really hard. Getting out of bed, getting dressed, taking a shower, all that kind of stuff that comes normal to other people, and it's just, that's what they do every day. It's harder for people like you and I. If you are experiencing this and you're watching this, you and I are who I'm speaking about. So okay, so another little piece of advice, and this may not work for anybody, and I don't know if it's even still available. Oh God, can I remember the information? Okay, so I was in this inpatient program, and my mother ordered me this. Her name is Melinda. She was on, is it called Attacking Anxiety? She was on an infomercial late at night. And what this was tapes that you could listen to. They were meditation tapes, just tapes in general. There was notebooks, workbooks where you would do these assignments. They were hard, you guys. They were really hard. Like, list one good thing about yourself. Seems easy, right? But when you're in the throes of this, it is not easy. It is not easy at all. But I did this. Attacking Anxiety, I think, was the name of the thing. If I can find the information and it's still available, I'll post it down below, because you know what? Honestly, right after I finished that whole course by myself, I did it. I committed myself to it and I did it. No lie, you guys, this is so nuts. My anxiety went away like that for 9 years. Not one anxiety attack for 10 years. Because that was when I was working at the Attorney General's office. I was able to drive into Hartford. I was able to keep a job. I was able to go to work every day. I enjoyed work. 9 years. I was free. It was really crazy to me. Overnight. Not overnight like it took one day, but like I said, completing this course and doing my workbooks and listening to these tapes and all this other stuff. One day I just woke up, it was gone. Now that's not going to be a normal, process for everybody. That's, I still find it to this day astounding. Unfortunately, after 9 years or 10 years, I was in a bad relationship with my son's father, and it was very abusive, and it all came rushing back. We were going through a divorce. It was nasty. It all came rushing back. And I've been dealing ever since. So, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Now it's starting to get a little better. Now I can drive small distances by myself. Like if it's there's days that I can't. That's not to say that every day I can drive short distances, because no, it depends on the day. It absolutely depends on the day. Like today I have a nail appointment. I need to go get my nails done. It's in Vernon, which, you know what, is like 3 exits down on the highway. Seems super easy, right? But I have anxiety over it. I'm having anxiety over it. Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of crazy. Am I looking forward to it? Yes, I am, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. So phobias and all that stuff, anxiety, they come up in all different ways and for all different situations for people. It's situational anxiety. It totally depends. But what I think I'm going to do is, usually when I do something, and now I do acknowledge it, I pat myself on the back, and then I'm able to do a couple other things that day that I wouldn't normally, be able to do. So if I make myself a list, do this, this, and this, it's not going to get done. So I kind of always play it by ear. If I'm out and about, oh, Chris, you had to go get blood work done. Go do it, because you're out. And I will. You know what I mean? If I'm already out. Or you had to pick up such and such at CVS. Go do it. And I will. But if I have a list of things that I need to do, that's pressure on me. You know what I mean? So that's hard. But anyway, guys, like I mean, if the biggest things I could say to you points is you're not alone. You are not alone. I know I didn't get into graphic detail with this video because that would just be so long. If you guys want to know more, you guys know where to find me. I could do a different video about it. Please post down below, guys. If you guys experience this and you are, you want to share, please do. I'm always here. Most of you guys know where to find me. With my email is, in the down bar. I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Always. I'm always here. My door's always open. I have an open door policy at home. I have an open door policy on YouTube. Like, seriously, you guys are my family, my friends, and I'm here. So you're not alone. You're not as alone as you feel. I could be inside a crowded room, you've heard the term, and feel absolutely alone. Of course. I've been there. But number 2, count your blessings. When you are feeling so down, I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care if you have to write it down. I don't care how small you think they are. Everybody has blessings. Count them. Write them down. Acknowledge them. Okay? Super important. Number 3, professional help. You can't do this on your own. This is not a mind over matter thing. It's not mind over matter. It's not. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to be this way and not be this way. That's not how it works. So you need to find professional help. It's a must. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a must. Could others do it without it? Maybe. Maybe that's your experience. And if that is, God bless you. I mean, good for you. I find it a must. And push yourself. As uncomfortable as you feel, push yourself. Push yourself through it, because all you're doing by not pushing yourself is closing in the walls, making your world smaller and smaller and smaller. The less you do, the more the walls are going to close in, and the more situations you're going to be afraid to do. So even if it's uncomfortable, do it. That's really the best advice I could give, guys. Like I said, any questions, post below. I will certainly answer them. You guys know I answer all my comments. I always answer my comments. And I hope this helped. If it helps one person, I hope, then that's what, I'm here for. But, so stay tuned next Monday. We're going to be kicking it old school again with the webcam and motivational. If you guys have any ideas on, if you guys want to hear something specifically, a specific topic, motivationally, or my thoughts on a specific topic, please post it down below. I'd be more than happy to do that on Motivational Mondays. And I will talk to you guys later. I love you.